Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, televiewers of 7 News Television. We are happy that God has made us to see another blessed day like this, for you to enjoy your favorite program known as Experts. Today, we are going to handle two important topics. One has to deal with ladies or women. It all depends how you want to call them. And the other will be talking about the need for efficient power distribution system in our country. We have two experts or specialists with regard to this program. Madam Panchibel Faker, who is an expert as well as the founder of Hope for the Vulnerables and Orphans. Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you today?
I'm good, thanks.
I can see from your smile and the look of things, you're excellently good. Okay, viewers, you got her. On my right, we have Mr. Kenneth Agbo,
yes,
who is an expert in energy.
yes, thank you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So how was your day and how was your trip from the world?
We thank God all is well.
Viewers of 7 News Television, we are moving now into serious business. We are talking more about menstruation and menstrual hygiene management. Madam Panchibel Faker is going to tell us more about that. Madam, who is Panchibel Faker?
Panchibel Faker is a mother, a teacher by profession, and the founder and CEO for Hope for Vulnerables and Orphans, known as HOVU.
Okay.
So she is a social worker who is passionate about gender issues, especially those issues related to the girl child.
Today we are talking about menstruation and menstrual hygiene management, especially within the secondary school milieu. What is menstruation?
Menstruation is that period in a woman's life where at the end of every month they have the blood flow. That blood flow is what is known as menstruation. And that menstruation is that aspect that makes every woman the woman she is meant to be.
So do you want to tell me that people who have not menstruating are not women?
Women, every woman, I believe, must menstruate, except you have health issues.
We are talking about health issues. What are the type of health issues that a woman who's not menstruating might have?
There are some women who may be suffering from crude infections, sexually transmissible infections, and may end up losing their menstrual flow.
Yeah.
And there are some, I'm not a doctor, whom for health reasons do not experience the menstrual flow.
That is really interesting. Mr. Kenneth, you just heard her talking about menstruation, and I know you are married.
Yes.
So have you experienced a situation where a lady has either complained that she's facing some menstrual problems?
Well, these are things and day-to-day things you cannot run away from. So if you have a woman at home and you have a daughter, these are things that you have to face. These are real problems and they are family issues. I believe that, well, I'm not a specialist in this sector, but I believe that if a woman tells me she's menstruating, I think of two things. I think of going to the store to buy something.
What is the thing you think of going to buy? Is it biscuit? Is it
well, it's, I call it a kind of it's a kind of secondary panties that the woman will put in order just for backup.
Okay.
Yeah, so that they don't have blood running all over the bathroom. So that gives them, so it gives them like some marks, you know, some how call it, souvenirs for the floor, which is not necessary. Actually, it's nature, and I believe that God has really given people like her the wisdom to know how to manage and to advise women to take care of situations like that. And I think that it is working. Almost, because I don't think I'm working, though people are menstruating everywhere, you don't see blood everywhere on the street. So it means that they are doing their job and they are doing it perfectly.
You talked of going to buy some things from the store. How often do you buy them?
Well, it's been quite long I've not bought them. If I think I go to the store this time, I think you go to buy condoms instead of buying something else.
That sounds interesting. Madam Benfica, we are talking of menstrual management. So at what age do we expect a young girl to start the menstrual flow?
Biologically, from the age of 9, yes, from the age of 9, every young girl should start expecting the menstrual flow. And it is left for the parents to start talking to their girl child about menstruation from the moment they start being reasonable.
All right. And
to react to Mr. Agwa's answer, he feels very uncomfortable calling pad. Okay. And his response is not different, it's not surprising to me. Okay. So reason why we are out to start breaking that stigma surrounding menstruation. If you are proud to get a condom for yourself, why not be proud to get a pad for your wife or your daughter?
It's possible.
So people should start respecting and appreciating women, because like he said, menstruation is a part of us. The man or the woman, menstruation is a part of us all.
So, you see, one thing that is so amazing with you women is you have a flow of blood every month that your blood never goes dry.
Yes. That blood, like initially I said, that is what makes you a woman. It is the ovaries, the egg, that your hormone releases, and it's waiting for fertilization. When the sperm doesn't come to fertilize it, it breaks, okay, and flows out as blood. That is what gives you the menstrual flow. Yes. So that is the woman's pride.
So we are talking of menstrual management.
Yes.
How are we supposed to manage it? Or what are the techniques for a young girl to manage menstrual flow?
For young girls, the best way to manage your menstrual flow is you have to first of all have a pad, and HOVO is out and helping the vulnerable girls, because statistics have shown that not every girl is opportune to have the disposable pads. Yeah. So we have come up with the reusable pad, the ones that you use and you wash, keep and reuse. So this is what we are encouraging, and we are training women how to produce this. Okay. This way it lasts long. You just need to use it, wash it very well, dry it, and keep it for your next flow. That way you remain clean, you remain healthy, and you will not be embarrassed. And then you don't need, if I carry it in my bag and I don't tell you, you won't know there is something in my bag. Yeah. So wherever you are embarrassed by it, you just go into your bag and take it out, and you put it on, and you're good to go.
And what if you dry it and your neighbor decides to steal it? What will you do?
If the neighbor steals, it means the neighbor knows the value of it.
Okay.
So, and you definitely have another one which you're going to replace.
No, because if I look at it, it doesn't look like a part. It looks like something that I need to cover my nostrils when I have dust around my quarter. So the neighbor might not think it is a part. I might think it is just something to protect my nostrils.
That's how you look at it. Some people look at it. Some people say it's they can use it to cover their eyes when they want to sleep. So, however you want to use it, but to us, this is our pad, a reusable pad, which helps us a lot. So you need to wash this very clean. I like this because it helps you measure your level of cleanliness. Because most people, they are like, okay, when you stain yourself, the blood, you're not comfortable with it, you may want to throw it away. And then, but the menstrual blood doesn't stain. It stains when you are not healthy. If you have an infection, it stains. If you don't have an infection, it doesn't stain. So you just need to put it in clean water and wash with soap, and it is clean again and ready for you to use during your next flow.
I unfortunately I'm not a woman to experiment that.
But you have daughters.
This time I'm Kenneth.
Yes, please.
I thought you would try to find out from Madam Archibald what it takes to have such pads.
Well, I think first, I think she's already bringing something new. We are already used to buying things from white people. We're not looking in our own creativity. When I see things like this, I get really moved, and I really want to do a lot to see that go forward, because we used to buying imported. So if we see something like this, I just pray we have people around with good initiatives who could help her to move with projects like this. It will be very good for the environment and the people around, so that we don't need to spend money to import when we have brains like this that can make miracles happen.
You bear with me that when we were customer, we used to hear girls saying that they want to buy toilet roll to use when
they were using not only toilet roll. If you forgot, I can tell you a lot of it. Yeah, I just went sometime I came to the house and looked around and realized my towel is missing. I was having such a scandal. Where is my towel? And when I just walked, I forgot that, oh, I had this, friend who was just living next door. And she said, stop, not the shout now. I had been using yesterday. I will buy you your towel. Even she had an emergency that there was nothing around, and the nearest thing she could use was my towel. People use different things, but hygienically, I believe that there are certain recommendations, like what she's bringing up, and these are the basic. And this should be things that they are not far from us, because not everybody can afford to buy a pack of the parts, like she said, this imported. So I think that what she's coming up with it's something I can say, I cherish it.
Thank you.
Okay, Fika, what are the health effects of using things like toilet roll?
Using toilet roll, normally for women who use toilet roll, they'll tell you that once you put it on and you walk, it gets soaked. And then by the time you want to change and check yourself, you see some particles, you see it in particles. Now, where do those particles go to? Some of them get into your vagina and into your system. And you start hearing some of them crying of lower abdominal pains. Some of them start complaining of having itches, discharges. All of those things due to the particles from the toilet rolls. Some people don't only end at toilet roll. When you get into the rural communities, you're really embarrassed, because menstruation is something you cannot imagine somebody not having money to get a pack of pad. But the truth is, a good number of women and girls don't have, they cannot afford. So some of them even resort to using dirty mattresses. Those are brown old mattresses on our beds. They cut a bit of it and they use. Some of them resort to using papers just to protect themselves. And there is this silky, the most interesting one I've seen is women using this. There's a leaf in the bush that is silky. When you touch it, it's really silky. They wear that. All of that is just to protect themselves. So when you look at all of that, you're worried. They pick up infections. Some of them end up being barren due to those infections. And you're like, what can you do to help? So I am happy because I got a partner, Rose Academies in the US. And when we talked about it, they came to Cameroon and trained me on the production of these parts. So far, the people who have been using it, they have not complained of any health issues now. Like, no, I've not heard of itches. I've not heard of those complications that come with using toilet roll. But on the contrary, a few days back, 2 days ago, in this Yaoundé, a lady was saying that she has a friend who, when she uses this disposable pads, she doesn't sleep, she is sick, she has serious abdominal pains. So her mother decided to get towels. So when she uses this natural one, she is fine, she doesn't have any complications. So it is environmental friendly. Yes.
And humanly friendly.
And humanly friendly.
Yeah.
You don't litter, you don't put anybody uncomfortable, and it's portable.
It's portable.
Yes.
I can see it's really portable because when you came with it, I never knew it was there.
I think even a man can carry it for his wife.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, so I used to hear women talk of menstrual delay and abdominal pains, as you already said. So, in reality, what can really cause a woman to have a menstrual delay?
Menstrual delay can be caused by two factors. One could be pregnancy, and the other could be health. Yes. If you're not pregnant, you won't have issues with your menstruation. Pregnancy will cause the menstruation to stop. And if you have serious health issues, infections, most women don't go to the hospital. They don't run their regular tests. So if they can make an effort of going to the hospital twice a year and do this smear pap test, it's going to help them from a lot. Because you can pick up an infection, you don't know how serious it is, and before you know it, you start having disorder, your menstruation stopping, your lower abdominal cramps increasing, and things like that.
Thank you very much, Fika. Fellow viewers of 7 News Television, at this point in time, we are going to follow a report made by Stephanie Anyo talking about violence against women. You may be out there, your mother, your sister is being tormented by either a man, a woman, or just a friend. Stephanie Anyo, let me get what you have for us this afternoon.
Ils s'empressent de prendre une photo souvenir avec cette dame. Elle, c'est le haut-commissaire du Canada au Cameroun, venu prendre part à la cérémonie organisée par la Commission Justice et Paix du diocèse de Batouri dans la région de l'Est. Une cérémonie consacrée à la restitution de l'analyse comportementale sur les violences faites aux femmes dans le département de la KDI. L'objectif de ces travaux est révélé tel qu'on peut le suivre dans ce propos.
Une des premières étapes est de prendre conscience de la réalité de la nature elle-même de ce phénomène dans la société. C'est connu, les violations des droits humains prospèrent généralement sur l'ignorance des victimes et même parfois de celle des auteurs de ces violences. C'est dès lors judicieux pour la Commission Justice et Paix d'avoir entrepris une campagne d'information et d'éducation en vue de sensibiliser la société sur cette problématique importante.
Soucieux de l'avenir des femmes et des enfants extendu aux hommes, les responsables de la Commission Justice et Paix, organisme catholique, se sont réunis pour mettre sur pied un projet qui semble, depuis le début de son exécution, porter des fruits.
Pour le cadre de ce projet, de la mise en œuvre de ce projet, les activités de sensibilisation ont touché 1276 ménages. Et sur les 1276 ménages, il y a 123 ménages de réfugiés qui ont été touchés. Et les femmes, c'est autour de 808. Non, les jeunes, c'est 808. Les femmes, ça doit être autour de 1800 et poussières. Et les hommes, c'est aussi 880 ou 82 qui ont été touchés directement par ce porte-à-porte.
Les populations de la KDI, notamment les femmes exposées aux violences, auront donc au terme de cet événement acquis des connaissances supplémentaires pour se défendre des avilissements dont elles sont victimes. Ces jeunes
Thanks very much, Stephanie Anyo, for that report. We know violence against women is something that is recurrent not only in Cameroon, but in other parts of the world. Viewers of 7 News Television, I am happy to let you know that we are talking about menstruation and menstrual hygiene management. If you are just tuning in, we have 2 persons who are experts. The one on my left is Madam Penchy Bell, Faker, while on my right I have Mr. Kenneth Agbo, who is an expert in energy. Viewers of 7 News Television, I am happy you're there. We are still talking about menstrual management. If you have a young girl, a sister who has been suffering from menstrual pains or doesn't know how to manage her menstrual cycle, Faker Penchabel is telling us more about it. But before we get to her, let's get to Mr. Kenneth Agbo. Mr. Kenneth Agbo.
Yes, please.
Faker just says delay in menstruation is either when a woman is pregnant or has an infection.
That makes it the fault of a man.
Why do you think it's the fault of a man?
Well, when a woman gets pregnant, who is the culprit?
Okay, the man.
The man.
Indirectly, you are accusing us.
A woman cannot get another woman pregnant, though. So I believe that if they say a woman is pregnant, who's in charge or who is guilty? You know.
Now you are pointing at accusing Anyway, have you ever in your life experienced a menstrual delay in your wife when she's pregnant, or a menstrual flow when she's pregnant?
Well, there are certain abnormalities. These are very usual, and medically, these have been proven that certain situations, such abnormalities exist. So sometimes a woman may have a delay of about 2-3 months, and she may even think she's pregnant. But when she goes in for the test, she's not pregnant. Those are just some kinds of abnormality, maybe change of hormones and things like that in the system. And also, you can also have a problem, like she says, maybe it's due to the system, maybe suffering from an illness that can also maybe bring some problems of delay and things like that. But well, I'm not an expert in that field.
I know you're not an expert.
If you ask who is guilty for pregnancy, if you ask for my wife, I don't have to. I just put my 2 hands up, put my 2 legs up. So, you know, I'm fully guilty.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Oh, I'm Faker. Oh, have you anyway meet women who are menstruating but yet pregnant?
Yes, like Mr. Agbo rightly said, there are situations like that, there are cases like that. Yes, and science makes us to understand that it's normal.
Yeah.
It's normal. They are abnormalities, but they are normal.
And what if the husband at one point in time says, you saw your menses 2 months ago, and this month you saw your menses, yet you are telling me you're 4 months, 3 or 4 months pregnant? You as a specialist, how are you going to handle such a situation?
It is true, some men sometimes act funny. They really act funny because...
Yeah, because Mr. Boye said he's accusing the men.
Yes, the men really act funny because I don't believe that you are staying with a woman and she tells you, you see her, she's menstruating, and then she goes to the hospital one fine day and comes back and tells you she's pregnant. And you start asking her questions.
From who?
Yes, you start questioning. Some even go as far as saying they're not responsible. It's really sad.
Yeah.
It's really sad. So, but then most times we try to talk with the men. We try to make them see reason. Like, these women don't own their body system.
Right.
Systems differ. So some systems function that way, while others don't. So they should just accept and then encourage the woman and take care of her until she gives birth.
But you know, in our villages, most men cannot understand the fact that their wives are menstruating, but yet after a period of 4 months, you come and tell them that you see, I am pregnant. I'm 4 months or 5 months pregnant. It is very difficult to accept such a situation.
Yes, true, it is very difficult. Reason why we are creating a lot of awareness and sensitizing as far as menstruation is concerned. You don't only wait for the woman to tell you maybe like 3 weeks after you've met that she's pregnant. But you should also put it at the back of your mind that as long as you keep having sex, unprotected sex with that woman, she can get pregnant at any time, and then her menstruation may not necessarily stop, because there are also women who get pregnant only they can get pregnant only when they are menstruating. So the menstrual cycle has its irregular and regular situations. So some women get pregnant only when they are menstruating.
And how is that possible?
It's possible, especially women with irregular cycles, especially those very short cycles. So most men with the stigma around menstruation may be married for years and don't have children. But then they won't think that it is because they don't even try to have sex with their wives when they are menstruating. Because it's only at that time that some of them ovulate. Their ovulation comes up when they are menstruating. So you have to try at all times to get your wife pregnant, instead of blaming her and threatening her that you're going to come in with another wife, and the whole family coming to tell her she's a barren woman, she's a piece of wood. You know.
I know.
Yeah, so women with irregular cycles and very short menstrual cycle get pregnant during menstruation. That's when they ovulate.
That's when they ovulate.
Yes.
We are talking about menstruation and menstrual management. So, you as a specialist, how can you advise a young girl, a student in Form 3, Form 5, opposite, on how to manage a menstrual cycle?
Now, to the young girls, when you talk of menstrual hygiene management, most times people start thinking of the safe and unsafe periods. We are not out for safe and unsafe periods.
That is good when you are in school.
When you're in school, we are not out for safe and unsafe period. But we tell you how to manage your menses. As a precaution, you don't leave your house without a pad. You must have a pad in your bag, because it can come up at any time and anywhere. So you're not embarrassed. You have your pad ready to put on when it comes. Then they have to maintain a very clean and healthy habit. They have to shower at least twice a day. Yes, because there are some people, when you tell them about menstruation, they are like, women smell when they menstruate. And I feel bad when I get such remark. That is the truth. Some women do smell. This is because they put up one pad for more than 8 hours. That is wrong. It's unhealthy. If you have to put on your pad, put on your pad for at most 4 hours. You discard of it. Run and do a quick douche, take water and rinse down there to make it fresh, and you put on your second pad.
Down where?
You put it in your vagina, you wear it.
Okay.
Yes, you wear it. So you are free, you are healthy, and you're comfortable.
Okay.
Because think of a situation where you take meat and tie in a plastic paper.
Yeah.
The whole day you go to the market in the morning, you buy, you tie it, and you walk under the sun. You come back at night, you open it, it stinks. The color changes. It's the same thing with the menstrual flow. When a woman who wears one pad for 8 hours, the moment she's taking off that pad, it is black. That you don't even determine the color of your blood at that time, because it has stayed. The heat and everything and sweat has gone there. The whole thing is so messy. It really smells bad. So, but if you make it a habit to change after every 4 hours, you'll be able to even evaluate yourself to know if internally you are healthy. Because normally the menstrual blood is not so very red, but it has its redness that tells you are okay. So now when it's so dark, when the redness is really so dark, then you have an infection somewhere. You have to get to the hospital.
You are talking of 4 hours.
Yes.
And you have this
reusable
parts. That means somebody has to carry how many of these parts a day?
We give 4 to our girls.
Okay.
So they should be carrying them all. So by the time you use one and then you change, get back home, the first thing you have to do is you wash the used ones and dry.
Okay.
Yes. So by the time you finish using up the fourth one, you have another one that is ready for you to use. Yes.
Let me find out from you, how much do you sell them?
Hovo and Rose Academies does not sell the pads.
Okay.
We distribute for free and we train groups. If groups are interested in learning how to sew the pads, they can contact us and we train them. We are out to help and break the stigma around menstruation.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Right, thank you very much.
Welcome.
Viewers of 7 News Television, you have heard from a specialist who is talking about menstruation and menstrual management. We are going to have a report made by colleagues talking about the social ills in our society, not excluding the young girls. Colleagues, what do you have for us this afternoon?
Ces jeunes des lycées et collèges de la ville de Yaoundé arborant des t-shirts sur lesquels on pouvait lire ce message assez illustratif du combat mené. Ils sont venus prendre part au lancement officiel de la campagne pilote de sensibilisation et de mobilisation communautaire autour de la prévention des fléaux sociaux émergeant en milieu scolaire et parascolaire. Cérémonie placée sous la tutelle du ministère des Affaires sociales et celui des enseignements secondaires. La consommation des drogues, qui est devenue récurrente au sein des établissements scolaires, interpelle plus d'un et les responsables d'école reviennent amplement sur ce phénomène qui impacte sur l'éducation des élèves et évoque ici les initiatives engagées pour faire face à ce problème.
Nous pensons que cette manière de se mettre ensemble peut booster la lutte contre les fléaux sociaux en milieu scolaire. Nous pensons, parce que déjà le fait qu'ils se mettent ensemble, ça a été déjà une grosse initiative. Bon, maintenant, il faut déjà qu'ensemble encore, nous touchions le mal à la racine.
Selon les statistiques publiées en 2008 par Global Youth Tobacco Serving au Cameroun, environ 15% des élèves âgés de 13 à 15 ans fument régulièrement. Un chiffre qui fait froid au dos, quitte à se demander quelles sont les sanctions affligées aux contrevenants et quelles seront les initiatives prises par le gouvernement.
Que nous allons mettre en place une plateforme, parce que je pense que c'est aussi une initiative qu'il loue énormément, parce qu'il sait très bien que ce phénomène-là devient de plus en plus grandissant. Donc oui, on va intensifier cette action, on va le poursuivre aussi bien ici dans les établissements scolaires de Yaoundé que dans les autres régions.
Espérons que ce lancement permettra de mettre terme à ce problème qui perdure au sein des lieux d'acquisition des savoirs. Étant donné qu'au pays de Paul Biya, des initiatives sont implantées sans lendemain.
Thanks very much, Calist, for that report. Viewers of 7 News Television, if you're just switching on your television, we are talking about menstruation and the menstrual management. If you don't know, a lot of things are happening. We misunderstand everything that happens in our society, especially when it comes to young ladies. Panchibel Faker, who is the CEO of Hope for the Vulnerable and the Orphans, is here to tell us more. Panchibel, you talk of taking a rub down after every 4 hours. What about those who live in the village that the stream is about 1 to 2 kilometers to get there? What are they supposed to do?
Well, to those in the rural areas where water is really scarce, the reason why I said they should try as much as possible to clean their vagina twice a day. They can do it in the morning and do it at night before they go to sleep. That way they remain clean. But they should change the pads, because if they don't change, that is where it stings and it makes them become very uncomfortable.
Okay, thanks very much. Mr. Abokenet, you've heard from her. Our wives ought to carry 4 pads
Well,
each day?
we can help carry some fun too.
How are you going to carry some for them?
We are part of the trouble.
No, they are going to work and you're going to work. How are you going to carry some for them?
Well, I can go to work, put it on my table.
Okay, put it on the table.
Yeah.
And what if you are not working in the same office with your wife?
No, that of course we are not working in the same office.
So how you put someone on your table?
The offices differ. When I'm home, there is an office.
All right.
Yes, that office only me and Madam are inside the office.
That is very logical. All right. Viewers of 7 News Television, you've got everything about menstruation and menstrual hygiene management. Like I earlier said, we have 2 different important topics to discuss today. We have finally come to the end of this menstrual hygiene management, and I do appreciate Madam Penshabel Faker for the wonderful ideas that she has brought. At this moment, we are going to talk about how energy or power ought to be distributed in our Cameroonian society. Mr. Agbo Kenneth, an energy expert, is going to tell us more about that. Mr. Agbo Kenneth,
Yes.
when you talk of energy distribution system, that Cameroon is in need of energy distribution system.
Yes.
What is the power distribution system you're talking about?
Well, first it goes to define who I am. I'm the CEO of Royal Engineering and Consulting. That's a new company. Our headquarters is in Buea. We specialized in developing and marketing electrical systems and accessories, which are solely for the efficient distribution of electrical power. So, well, we have observed some of the drawbacks of our electrical systems.
Okay.
So we decided to come up with some solutions that could help really solve some of the problems we face.
As an expert, a consultant, when you talk of power, can you give the televiewers the definition of the power you're talking about?
Well, power, we have generation of, we say like generating power from simple things like water, like what we call dams,
Okay.
getting it from the dam to the customer who is the end user. Okay, it's just a flow of energy through a medium from the base to the end user. So that is all I can say about. And this goes, if you can go into it detail, you can go to the electronic part of it. You know, electrons flow through metals and things like that to get to know that. That's already too detailed for simple viewers to to try to get to understand it. But it's just to know that it's just the movement of electrical energy from the base to the end user. So I'm more concerned not with the transportation. I'm more concerned with the distribution.
Okay.
Yes.
So what solution is your company? You talk of power distribution system.
Well,
how is your company going to help in distributing power?
First of all, we have to realize which are the problems we are facing in our solution. We have a lot of outages. We have a lot of problems with constant poles falling and people accidents and things like that. So these are the problems that we are facing, and so we are taking into considerations these accidents and also the outages that we are having, like constant on and off of lights, and trying to work out solutions for this base. And we are trying to do this not only that we look at the sufferings of the people, but we get to know why and then try to resolve it. But we found out that these cases happen more because of the products or the materials they use on the lines. Some of these materials are very, very cheap materials, and they are not quality materials. And when they use this kind of accessories on the lines, it ends up giving us high maintenance costs, which is not, for our utility companies, that is already too much to handle. So I believe that if our people can learn to use high quality products on our line, it turns out at the end that we are using the lowest amount of putting a low amount of money for maintenance than we ought to do when we use high quality products.
The world today is moving towards solar energy.
Yes.
And most countries are very much concerned with increasing their energy sector through the solar.
Yes.
Why is your company still moving towards the olden days of
Well, the
energy
solar energy is also a very good system. It's a new technology that we are trying to adopt, and we can't say that it is a permanent solution for the problems we face, but it has been having also some challenges. Although we are not putting all this electrical systems and everything, they have challenges, but the solar is bringing in more challenges. So in order for us to go through we already know how to manage the old system, like you say. So in coming into the new one, we have to first of all try to adapt and stabilize the old system before we get to the new one. So if we are getting to the new one, we are now trying to update the old one.
All right.
Yes, and before we update the old one, we should be sure that it will not give us drawbacks more than what we had with it.
Okay, Ben Shabel, Fika, we are talking about energy here. Have you in any way experienced shortages recently?
To the best of my knowledge, Cameroon is one of those countries that really doesn't care about electricity, because I live in an area where people go for days without electricity.
Okay.
And it's appalling because we have the Menstrual Falls, and we hear, I'm not an expert, I hear that it can supply the whole of West Africa. And I begin to imagine, with all the resources, why we should be having shortages in electricity.
I'll come back to menstruation and menstrual hygiene management. What if a lady has her part somewhere and she's menstruating and the lights goes off, she doesn't have either a torch or a bush lamp that our parents used to use in the past? How is she going to get to that point?
She should definitely be able to know where she kept it. After, if it's in the house, it's her house.
Yeah.
She doesn't share the house with anybody, so she can easily locate it and get it. Electricity should not make you soil yourself.
And don't you think that the absence of electricity, she might have put the parts somewhere where there's a bench or something for her to not to get to that point at that point in time?
She will use her hands to touch and guide herself to the place without hurting herself.
You are making somebody to become blind when she's not.
The electricity makes us behave that way.
All right, that is good. So, how you said you have areas that you go for 2 weeks without electricity. How are you managing it?
It's really sad. It's a really difficult situation, especially when you have to buy things and stuff in your freezer or fridge. And when it goes for days and weeks without electricity, everything gets bad and you're frustrated. You don't know what to do. You just see yourself wasting things here and there. So and then you also have to communicate and carry out assignments and things like that. It's really challenging. So it's limiting. It's really limiting. So if we could have people like them come up to step up the electricity, I think it is very good, so that we sometimes, I look at it like living in the village while you're in the city. Yes, because it doesn't make sense. In the village, they know they don't have electricity, so they have their lamps or whatever they are using to keep them going at night. But you cannot be in a city and you're not having electricity. And then you also see people, accidents, disasters, people burning up in the houses or houses burning up because you have your candle that was lit and then you slept off. So it's really sad.
Did you in any way in your life use what is known as Turukan?
I did, and I have a scar on my stomach because I was trying to fight with my brothers and I had to go over it and it burnt me. So I have a scar somewhere here.
That has to remind you of your brother.
Yes. Thank you.
Mr. Kenneth.
Yes.
I know you are from Manu and must have used Turukan in your life.
Yes, of course I have.
So we move from the olden days energy to the modern system.
Yes.
So your company or your association trying to step up the energy sector in Cameroon.
Yes.
How?
We are trying to, give solutions for the distribution of electrical energy, which will boost up efficiency and also step down the challenges we are facing in this sector. We have a lot of challenges in this sector. Not only the utility company actually is fighting very hard. Well, they have less support. I don't know, maybe the government gives them, but it's not enough. But they are fighting very hard to fight these challenges because if I can still say Cameroon is not up to 25% electrified. It's really shocking that a country with such potential was still lagging behind, where you have a lot of villages and potential villages and a lot of small subdivisions which are very prominent and well known. They are not electrified. So, well, all these problems cannot be solved at once. We have to come up with a solution like what we are doing now in order to help go through. Solar energy is just one of them. Like we say, the solar has come, but it has brought also a lot of challenges. How much can it cost? Can the people of the village afford it? Although they can afford to pay their bill, 2,000 francs a month, but can they afford to buy a solar panel? They cannot. So these are the kind of things that we are taking into consideration. The solar is good. It's a good thing. But is it affordable by the common people? So these are the kind of challenges we have to go. Well, they have other things, like they have solar lamps, like she was saying. These lamps can be used in suburbs, like when you go for your projects, you can usually have them, you can charge, but those things, they last just for a little while.
Thanks very much, Mr. Advocate.
Yes.
Viewers of 7 News Television, the Cameroonian system, many say, is corrupt, and to gain public contract, you must pass the camera through the eye of a needle, which is very impossible. Rizdozok has a report talking about public contracts in Cameroon.
L'objectif est pour le moins clair au sein du ministère des Marchés publics au cours de cette nouvelle année budgétaire, évaluée financièrement en guise de rappel à plus de 4 500 milliards de francs CFA, dont quelques 30% seront consacrés à l'investissement public, mettant ainsi au centre de cette action ce département ministériel qui, dès le premier mois de l'année, a procédé à la programmation des plus de 6 000 marchés de 2018, qui s'est poursuivi par le lancement le 10 janvier du BIP dans les 10 régions du Cameroun, en vue de rendre effectif le défi majeur énoncé par Abbas Sado, chef de cette administration, lors de son passage le 2 décembre 2017 devant les élus nationaux de la Chambre basse.
Programmer dans une semaine tous les marchés de l'année 2018 qui va s'ouvrir dans un mois. Programmer veut dire essentiel l'ensemble des marchés des différents maîtres d'ouvrage, étaler leur passation. Et la priorité, comme vous le dites, c'est que nous voulons de plus en plus faire en sorte que les marchés soient passés au cours du premier tiers de l'année, de janvier à avril, au plus tard mai. C'est techniquement possible parce que le ministère de l'économie déjà rend disponible la matière première pour nous, c'est-à-dire les journaux des projets.
Un vœu qui, en cette année électorale, permettrait très certainement au Cameroun d'organiser sereinement ces différentes échéances et au MINMAP d'optimiser les plus de 17 milliards de francs CFA à travers un respect à la fois des procédures, mais surtout une efficacité dans la réalisation des nombreux travaux prévus tout au long de l'année.
Nous demandons à nos collaborateurs de respecter les principes qui guident l'exécution de ce budget, qui doivent être faits dans les normes pour éviter donc qu'il soit trouvé dans le flou.
Des prescriptions qui ne peuvent que conforter les entreprises adjudicataires dans la matérialisation de ces marchés afin que suive tout aussi le paiement des factures des prestations à due échéance par l'État, chose qui constitue encore un mystère dans ce secteur des marchés publics au Cameroun.
Thanks very much, Brice Gozak. Viewers of 7 News Television, gradually, step by step, we are coming to the end of this program. Managing all the needs of power distribution system in Cameroon is of vital importance in our country. Mr. Agbo Kenneth, who is an energy expert and a consultant, is here to tell us more. Mr. Agbo Kenneth.
Yes, please.
So, have you noticed that recently there is an increase in electrical bills in Cameroon?
Yes. Usually it happens, and I really try to inquire why when I came back from abroad, because I have been out of the country for 23 years and it's been quite hard for me to adapt to the system. So I realized that they had a way of giving bill when it's dry season, and when it's rainy season, the bill. I got to ask why, and I had to understand, because it's more work when it's dry season. The level of the dam goes down, and any science student will tell you when water drops, energy is less produced, and with the amount of customers we have who need electricity, the customers are getting higher every day, and we have really to work hard also to fight. Usually they increase it a bit so that they can use it to cover some of the cost for maintenance and the reliability of the network flow.
Okay, Fika, we are going to the end of this program. One last word to the young girls who are suffering through blood flow or going menstruation.
I want to tell the young girls menstruation is pride. Menstruation is dignity. And menstruation makes them the girls they are. So no stigma, no shame. They have to be proud that they are menstruating. But they have to take care of themselves during menstruation.
Mr. Kenneth, you're talking about energy.
Yes.
How is Cameroon, or as an expert, what will you advise the government within a minute to improve the energy sector?
Well, I think that one of the things I will say is our government spends a lot of money. They have very high budget for maintenance. I think that if quality products are used on our electricity distribution system nationwide, it is vast. I think we are going to reduce the amount of network losses we have, and we are going to also reduce the maintenance cost, and so it's going to help at least us to do a lot of extensions of line and building of new lines, which means that it can increase the percentage electrification than what we have today.
Thanks very much, Mr. Kenneth, for coming. Thanks very much, Madame Penchibel Fika, for coming. I hope if you invite him next time, you will not hesitate coming here.
Sure, I will come. I'll definitely come.
Oh, thanks very much. Viewers of 7 News Television, we are quite sorry. You should understand that anything that has a beginning must definitely have an end. This program is successful not only thanks to your presenter, Zakan Bison, but to others that you don't see. We have initiates like Stefan Mbala, we have Serge Biwole, Joseph Menduga, and Levis, who is presently here, not forgetting the editors. We have just one lady who has the name of a soap. She's called Otans Oboni, as well as my able editors like Roland Amana and Terry Damba. You can call him Terry Football. All the same, it's Tere Ndama. Club Elite Plus is your program after experts. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, you have experts in English language. Don't go away. This is the only and unique television station that deals with continuous information. Bye. I love you all.